up to the game against the Patriots in the Letterman jacket. The year they looked like they were going to be the 1 seed, and then they got whooped. This would have been an embarrassing moment had they ended up not winning that victory.
I thought Jonathan Williams gave Bernard McKinney a fatality on that one run for a touchdown, because that was the go-ahead. I'm just saying.
Look at this, man.
Get over here.
No, he's Scorpion ain't in there.
Scorpion's right there.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. You right.
Come on, you Raiden.
My apologies.
I'm Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero, you're right.
Katana.
What's with your bar, Nick? Why are we all reds?
Because I've evidently lost the fight. This is such an
Is that what that means?
That's how much life you have left.
I look like Raquel Welch.
The users of the show continue to sap my life from me.
You need Luke Cage. You need Luke Cage.
I saw Hubs, who I've been arguing behind the scenes should be fired. I saw Hubs working on this Photoshop before the show, and I knew it was going to go poorly for him. I see you, Hubs. Okay, no problem, man. No problem. Got a conference call with the bosses later.
So you throw all the shade at everybody else, every athlete we talk about.
I don't throw shade at athletes, man.
I just throw shade at Kawhi Leonard.
No, I speak truths. I'm excited to watch Kawhi Leonard tonight. If he happens to play basketball, I'm not certain if he will.
Don't put some respect on your name.
Nick, why? I don't understand. Is that a real costume that he's wearing?
Those are all characters from Mortal Kombat.
Why are you the only one that looks ridiculous?
Because they're jerks. Because we work with a bunch of jerks.
You look ridiculous.
You know what? It's bullying. That's what I've decided. It's bullying.
Back to the Patriots. Patriots are still in dire need at the wide receiver position. They had Antonio Brown, but they released Antonio Brown 2 months ago. This week, Brown tweeted an apology to the Patriots for his behavior. And now former Pats tight end Christian Farias says the team has, quote, kicked tires on actually bringing Brown back. Nick, how badly do the Patriots need to bring Antonio Brown back?
Right now, the reason the Patriots, despite having the best record in football, tied with San Francisco. In fact, the Niners and Patriots very similar in this regard. Two teams with the best records in football that I don't even have close to the most confidence of the teams in their own conferences. Why? Because I question both of their passing games. With the Niners, it's about the propensity for turnovers. With the Patriots, it's about the lack of sustained drives and lack of big plays. But they both have to do entirely with the passing game. Both those teams, by the way, the deadline, knew they needed passing attack so badly. They both traded premium-ish picks for Emmanuel Sanders and for Mohamed Sanu. Patriots now stare at a situation where Mohamed Sanu's injured, Philip Dorsett's still in concussion protocol, and Tom Brady's having the worst year I would argue he's had in at least 15 years, and you could argue since his rookie season. So could they use an A-plus player? Could they use an A-plus player who they already got into their offense after being with the team for 1 week and on his very first drive with the team had 4 catches and scored a touchdown? Of course they could use him. I don't think they will get him. I don't think they will go after him this season, but the Patriots need an injection of talent into their offense, and Bart, they need an injection of talent at the receiving position that doesn't have to go downfield to be a weapon. Like Philip Dorsett, when he's healthy, is a legitimate weapon. Maybe he shouldn't have been a first-round pick, but a legitimate weapon. But his biggest skill is something the Patriots are not able to take advantage of right now because they can't protect Tom Brady long enough, and Tom Brady's arm isn't what it once was. Antonio Brown can be deadly catching a ball at the line of scrimmage, catching a ball that's been in the quarterback's hand 1 second. So, yeah, he'd be great for them, and they need something there. I don't necessarily see this happening, though.
Me either, but with the lack of Devlin, to your point, also that allows that other defender to come into the box and be able to shut down Sony Michel. When you have the threat of Antonio Brown, then you have the threat. You have to put a safety over the top of him, which takes somebody out of the box, which opens up more of the running lanes, which is what the Patriots want to do. And also it gives you another person, because you saw teams were starting to bracket Edelman and play inside out on him. And those pivot routes and things, Tom doesn't have the opportunity to wait for him. So he needs somebody that can win at the line of scrimmage, bubble screens, reverses. Antonio Brown is somebody that has tremendous yak, after the catch ability to run and get yardage that way. I just don't see it happening, because once you burn that bridge with Kraft, I think it's more of a matter of principle that he went after the organization, went after the owner, and you can't take that back no matter how many times you apologize.
Yeah, it's never a good look when you embarrass one of the best owners in not only football but in sports. And so, yeah, Antonio Brown, he absolutely burned the bridge on his way out of Foxborough, and now that he wants to get back in the National Football League, the team that has a pretty good shot at having championship aspirations in the AFC.
Way they're going to take him back.
Exactly. This would be the perfect fit for Antonio Brown, but they're just not going to take him back. But, I mean, the reason that Bart outlined, I think, is the most important point. The Patriots, when Rob Gronkowski retired, didn't have a player that can dictate front and coverage, somebody that Belichick could move all over the football field, and that guy can tilt the entire defense. They don't have that guy anymore, and so they're relying on Tom Brady to be the difference and to try to elevate the play of a lot of young guys, N'Keal Harry, Jacoby Myers, Sony Michel, you name it. Those are guys that are relatively inexperienced in the National Football League, even though that Sony Michel was a big part of what they did during that championship run last year. It wasn't like defenses were loading up to stop Sony Michel because you still had to account for Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski. So Antonio Brown would bring them that presence from a production standpoint, but also from a talent standpoint. They really need that in this offense. No Mohamed Sanu. It's just going to be a lot tougher for that passing game to get on track.
A lot of offensive stats can be misleading because they can be situational. Like, you can be a high-scoring team, but is your defense forcing a ton of turnovers, setting up short fields? Right. Some teams, they look like a better rushing team than they actually are because they always have the lead, so they're rushing the ball later. They look like a better passing team than they are because they're always trailing, so they're just throwing and picking up garbage yards. Here's one stat that is not situational, that is not misleading, that tells you on a per-play basis how good is this offense. Yards per play. How many yards, when you are snapping the football, are you picking up? The New England Patriots are 24th. That is sandwiched between the Denver Broncos, who have changed quarterbacks this year, and the New York Giants, who have changed quarterbacks this year. That's why they need more talent on their offense. Right. And right now, anyone who's available is a B- player at best, except for this A+ player. It is why, despite, before he went after Kraft, but after all of the ugly allegations came out. You know who wanted to keep him? Belichick.
And
you
Brady.
know who really wanted to keep him?
Tom Brady.
Brady.
Yep.
Because Tom Brady, I would imagine, is like, man, I'm worried about what you can do while you are here.
Right.
And while he was there, they knew he could unlock something to their offense in a way I would argue not even Julio Jones could. Like, I thought Antonio would have been the #1 pick as far as on-the-field wide receiver they could have. And I think, by the way, he's going to be cleared by the NFL here shortly. I think he's going to be available to be signed. I think you guys make good point. He's going to, you know, Twitter fingers turn to trigger fingers, and he got what he sent out afterwards about the owner probably, scorched the earth. But the Patriots need him, and the rest of the AFC would be devastated if they signed him.
But how reliable is he, right? We've seen him go to two organizations and burn the bridges in like 2 days. It didn't even take a week before he responded. I mean, you're staying at Tom Brady's house. He got you by his family. You sitting up there doing what he's doing when he was going back and forth with one of his accusers. Like, you don't do that. Like, can he come in and even be available for 3 straight weeks if he comes in the playoffs without going off the deep end if somebody attacks him on Twitter?
But what I'll say about that is it's all accurate, and I am not here to defend Antonio Brown. I think he's a bad guy, and I don't think he's a stable guy. But the Raiders and the Patriots, the two teams that had him, they both cut ties with him once it got too much, and they paid no penalty for it. Now, the Raiders paid a salary cap penalty, but set that aside. The Raiders they're one of the surprise good stories of the year. The Patriots are 9-1. So I do think if you have an organization that is not going to allow, if you have to cut a guy, it to derail things, and the Patriots have shown that, you could sustain it. I don't think he's going to light the building on fire, even if he attempts to via Twitter. And so this is why, guys this talented get every chance in the world.
And he's got 2 in less than like a year.
I don't know if he gets another chance now. And Kenny agrees with me. I don't know if he gets another chance.
No, I said it when he signed with the Patriots the first time. If it doesn't work out now, then I just have a hard time seeing him getting back in the National Football League just because of how he found his way on the outs with Pittsburgh.
He's demonstrated zero
Oakland,
ability to have any staying power with any team. He's demonstrated zero ability to stay off this.
I get what you're saying, Nick. You want him to keep it together for a couple of months while you're going on.
I know the league, and I get this is the last thing I'll say. And I consider Michael Vick a friend, and I really like him. So this is not a shot at Vick at all. Michael Vick went to federal